The James Webb Space Telescope is often referred to as Hubble's replacement, while it is more of a successor. After all, Webb is the scientific successor to Hubble, and the science goals of Webb were inspired by Hubble's findings. However, the $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope, which is one of the most ambitious technical projects ever done, has far greater capabilities than the Hubble Space Telescope. But what is the difference between these two? Keep on watching to find out. So what is the difference between the Webb telescope and the Hubble? To understand the differences between these two, we must first know what they are. The Hubble Space Telescope has had a significant impact on our understanding of the cosmos and popular interest in astronomy since its debut in 1990. It has allowed us to look deeper into space than ever before, to capture stunningly detailed photos of planets and galaxies, and to answer many of the universe's greatest mysteries. The James Webb Space Telescope, on the other hand, will be Hubble's successor, not its replacement. The two missions will work together on new findings and have a planned overlap. Webb will continue Hubble's great legacy by assisting humanity in peering much further into the cosmos. The first difference to make is how far each telescope can see. The more away an item is, the further back in time we are gazing due to the time it takes light to travel. Hubble can view what are known as toddler galaxies, while the Webb telescope will be able to glimpse baby galaxies. Because Webb is an infrared telescope, it will be able to view the earliest galaxies. The cosmos is growing, as are the galaxies inside it. Einstein's general relativity comes into play when we talk about the furthest objects. It explains that as the universe expands, the space between items stretches, forcing objects, like galaxies, to move apart from one another. Furthermore, any light in that area will stretch, causing the wavelength of that light to change to longer wavelengths. Because that light reaches us as infrared light, it can make distant objects appear dim, or even undetectable, at visible wavelengths of light. Webb and other infrared telescopes are suitable for studying these early galaxies. The wavelength that each telescope can view is also one of the differences. Webb's primary wavelength of observation will be infrared, and it will be packed with 4 pieces of scientific equipment to record pictures and spectra of celestial objects. The wavelength range covered by these sensors will be 0.6 to 28 micrometers. The electromagnetic spectrum's infrared ranges from 0.75 microns to a few hundred microns. This means that Webb's devices will mostly operate in the infrared portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, with limited visual capabilities. The Hubble is around 340 miles distant from Earth, the Webb telescope is nearly 1,000,000 miles away. In order to catch weak infrared wavelengths of light, Webb must be cooler than Hubble. As a result, Webb must be protected against infrared radiation from the Sun, Earth, and Moon. Hubble's sensors can view a little bit of the infrared spectrum between 0.8 and 2.5 microns, but their principal capabilities are in the ultraviolet and visible regions of the spectrum between 0.1 and 0.8 microns. Before the launch of Webb, Klaus Pontoppidan stated at a press conference that the photographs captured by Webb will be superior to those captured by Hubble. He also suggested that visuals will be essentially different because of their different wavelengths. But why are these wavelengths so important for these telescopes? Stars and planets in the early stages of formation are obscured by dust cocoons that absorb visible light. The same may be said about our galaxy's nucleus. Infrared light released by these places, on the other hand, can escape the dusty cloud and expose what is beneath. Another difference we must not forget is the size of these two. Webb has a primary mirror with a diameter of around 6.5 meters, which is a far bigger collecting area than the mirrors available on today's space telescopes. Hubble's mirror is much smaller, with a diameter of only 2.4 meters and a collecting area of only 4.5 square meters, giving Webb around 6.25 times the collecting area. Webb will have a far larger field of view than Hubble's NICMOS camera, extending more than 15 times the area. Webb's sun shield is around 22 meters long and 12 meters wide. It's roughly half the size of a 737 aircraft. A tennis court is roughly the size of the sunshield. Because of the Webb's size, the telescope could not be loaded into the cargo compartment of a space shuttle and sent into orbit as a single unit, as Hubble did. It had to be folded up like a mythical transformer to fit inside the nose cone of an Ariane 5 rocket and then unpack itself in space, which caused the scientists and engineers a great deal of concern. There is no space for errors, and there is no way for astronauts to fix anything if something goes wrong. It has to be perfect from the start. This massive, ultra-sensitive sensor needed to be as light as possible while still being strong enough to endure the vibrations and G-forces of a rocket launch. Once in orbit, the procedure required 50 main deployments and 344 single-point failure devices such as latches, hinges, motors, bearings, gears, cables, and pulleys, according to the scientists. They must all function perfectly. The two telescopes are not in touch with one another, there is a huge gap between them. The Earth is 150 million kilometers from the Sun, while the Moon circles it at a distance of around 385,000 kilometers. The Hubble Space Telescope circles the Earth at a height of 570 kilometers above the surface. Webb will not circle the Earth, instead, it will sit 1.5 million kilometers distant at the Earth-Sun L2 Lagrange point. Hubble was able to be launched into space by the Space Shuttle because it is in Earth orbit. Webb was launched on an Ariane 5 rocket and is not meant to be serviced by the Space Shuttle because it will not be in Earth orbit. Webb's solar shield will filter the light from the Sun, Earth, and Moon at the L2 point. This will aid Webb in remaining cool, which is critical for an infrared telescope. Webb will orbit the Sun in the same manner as the Earth, but will remain stationary in the same position in regard to the Earth and the Sun. We can learn from the Hubble because it was built years ago. The James Webb Telescope was built to prevent the same humiliating issue that the Hubble Space Telescope encountered shortly after its launch in 1990. The first photos were distorted due to a defect in the primary mirror, which caused it to have the incorrect shape for proper focus. Thankfully, Hubble was built with parts that could be changed so that it could be repaired by astronauts. A set of corrective optics, fitted by astronauts, was meant to cancel out the imperfection and restore clear eyesight. Over the years, the telescope has been repaired 5 times, with its equipment upgraded to the point that it is now more competent than when it was initially built. That is not an option for Webb. Its ultimate orbit, 1.5 million kilometers from Earth on the far side of the Moon, is too far away for astronauts to reach. The 18 segments of the mirror include actuators that can move them into perfect alignment and even modify the form of each individual segment to guarantee that it has the correct curve. The commitment of the scientists and designers who built and tested the telescope before it was launched is a tribute to the fact that this complicated series of events has gone off without a hitch so far in this. Hubble transformed the face of astronomy because of its clarity of vision well above the turbulence of the Earth's atmosphere, not because it was the largest. In fact, it is modest by terrestrial standards. This will be taken to the next level by the James Webb Space Telescope. While ancient galaxies at the frontier of the observable universe and planets circling other stars are predicted, the most fascinating prospects are the ones no one imagined. Bigger and better astronomical tools have opened our eyes to the wonders of the cosmos since Galileo pointed the first telescope to the sky more than 400 years ago. Who knows what wonders will be revealed through Webb's eyes in the coming years? What do you think about the James Webb Telescope and the Hubble Telescope? Let us know in the comments.